Hello, YouTube, and my fellow gamers and enthusiasts, and my one subscriber. Maybe at some point there'll be more than one. Uh, Getting ideas, coming up with a new concept or game for your for a new campaign or an existing campaign that's gone stale. Looking at how do I come up with an idea for a great villain or good rivals to my player characters, or how do my player characters come up with some interesting and unique character traits and so forth. Uh, how do we get ideas? I mean, not to risk the term plagiarism, which we're not doing plagiarism here. We try our best not to plagiarize, but in truth, that's exactly what we do. Every writer out there, I'm telling you, I've been an avid would-be author for better part of a decade. Uh, I got a game system that's in design early design steps with Golden Games. I've got several novels that are potentially sitting on a shelf waiting to be discovered. Still plugging away at another one. I've read lots and lots of material on the subject of writing and developing characters and so on and so forth. And a lot of them agree on a couple things. We unintentionally plagiarize everything we see. We read a good book and we get an idea, or we see a character in a novel that does something, and we think, oh, I want to do that, or I'd like to play a character like that, or I want to be, that guy or that woman. Another is the same that holds true in the movies and TV series. We find inspiration in the world around us. You can call it there's a number of terms for it. Plagiarism is only usually used when you're doing it overtly in such a manner that you're getting paid for using somebody else's stuff. And if you alter their concept and change it and make it your own, it's no longer plagiarism. It's your own. It's different, and as long as you can back it up. That's why I said, and I've said it before, especially when I did my attempt at a Kickstarter campaign, I have boxes and boxes and boxes of notes and rewrites that prove my stuff's original as it can be. Is there some common ground? Sure. You can't write in a genre and not have common ground. Sorry, you can't have. You just look at your game. Your hack and slash or fantasy role playing. You can't have a fantasy role playing that doesn't involve some kind of magic, some kind of fantasy, usually some kind of bad guy and or monsters. And so, goblin is a goblin is a goblin, no matter what you call it, no matter what game world it is and what game system you use. Then there you go. It's not plagiarism. So when we look at this, is what do we do? How do I find a good idea? How do I personally find good concept ideas or background information stuff for my bad guys or for my NPCs that I'm going to put out as roadblocks or foils or interactive points for my player characters? Well, easiest thing is I start looking at life and people I know around us. I observe a lot of people. I sit around, I look, and I watch, and I think there's something about that, and there's something about that gal that could be a great bad guy, or could be an awesome NPC. The shopkeeper at my favorite, Quick Trip, for example, is an interesting individual. She has a unique way of saying hello, and hello. I'm not doing it good, but it's just you kind of smile because hey, are you kidding me? Right? Okay, so life, books and reading and the movies, of course, and the people around us, newspapers. The same thing for the MacGuffins. In case you're not familiar with that, that is a term that's used for the object or the treasure or the goal, the thing that everybody's trying to get or trying to grab. In Star Wars, the original Star Wars, the MacGuffin was the Death Star blueprints. The Death Star blueprints were the MacGuffin. In various books and stuff, it varies and changes. So we try to figure out what our characters' goals are and what they're trying to do. And best way to sometimes to get things of that nature is to look at stuff that goes on in the news. The news is the world. The real world is weirder than any of our imaginations can create if you just keep an open ear and an open mind to what you see. And sometimes it can take a very basic concept, very strange thing to happen, and turn it around and twist it just a little bit, and it becomes something very enjoyable to play. We have a lot of problems with terrorism today. Well, let's call them an orc horde, and this is where our player characters are now trying to stop the orc horde from, decivilizing the kingdom, whatever it takes. Uh, Same goes with characters and stuff. I see a character in a movie and I think, oh, that'd be an interesting person to play. And I base my player character off of that individual. Whether it's loosely or verbatim is up to the individual. The closer and tighter you are to that individual, uh, the more source material you have, because you can go back and look at them and their career, acting career and stuff, and go, or their life is in the media, and say, okay, this is how he would act in that situation. This is what she would do, and if somebody did this. So, it works. It's something that you can consider. Right? Getting ideas is, it seems easy, and yet it's not. There are times, and we all get it, where we get that writer's block. It's just that stumbling block where we know, I saw, I just right on the tip of I know, can't get it, and then I go off and do something else, and then it's just an epiphany occurs, or I see something and goes, oh, really? Yeah, yeah. Why couldn't I have thought of that yesterday? And it especially gets worse as we get older. So, some of us take notes, crib notes. Others go into great detail to write down logs and journals and things like that. Hey, whatever it takes to keep things going and keep yourself, those good ideas flowing. I know that Stephen King once said, I think he said this several times, he keeps a notepad by his bed at nighttime wherever he goes, because you never know when he's going to come up with an idea. When he's going to come up for an idea, it might be an idea for a book or for a character, or it might be something he can translate into an existing work that he's working on. And sometimes it's just total gibberish, and the next day he's going, what? What was that? What was I thinking? That's what you get for trying to write when you're half asleep. Hey, come on, we all do it, right? So what are you going to do? Then, and there's the one. This one here is mentioned in at least 2 books on developing campaigns and characters. Rolling randomly. I think I've seen a couple conversations as well recently on other blogs where we've touched on the topic, but didn't it wasn't focused purely on on this topic, but he did touch on it. This is where you randomly roll pretty much everything. So, how do I roll up? We can randomly roll the stats and the skill sets and things like that, and it's a challenge sometimes when you get a really, you want a challenging campaign. Challenge your characters to use whatever the first set of rolls they get. Give them their 6 rolls for their stats, and then that's it. So, you could get somebody that's dumb as a box of rocks, has a constitution of a noodle, and try gaming with the minimum stats, the lowest possible denominator, and listen to I've only got 114, everything's under 10, everything else is under 10. Yeah, you're a drooling idiot. Which stat you gonna put it on? I think Constitution, if you're going to do any kind of whaling on anything, but you might need that intelligence or wisdom depending on what your chosen path is. As a wizards go, if your intelligence is 14, good luck getting anything over 4th level, right? Although there's ways around it, artificial means, magical items, so on and so forth. That in of itself can be a challenging group of people to run and to play as. Something to keep that in mind. The rolling random. Uh, there are books. There are some game systems. Seem like I've seen one in one of the Star Wars game books where they give you a bunch of random names and characteristics, and you just roll randomly and put them together. So the same concept here would go. You could, and I think there's D&D might have one too. I been a while since I've seen it, so I'm not going to say that it does or not, but it gives you some random quirks and defects and advantages. So, roll on each one of these, get random, and go with the flow. Take the good, the bad, and try to make something interesting. It's a challenge. Same works for the bad guys, doing the same thing. An inept, bumbling, moronic villain has a lot of humor value to it, as long as he's got something, that gives him leverage against the player characters. Because if he's so inept, so bumbling, and so drool happy, idiotic, that your player characters can dance all over him, he's not going to be a villain for very long. But what if, he's the half-wit idiot son of a, murderous mindset arch wizard who has a bunch of minions. And the minions' jobs are to make sure that his idiot son doesn't end up getting wiped out, and the idiot son keeps coming up with bad ideas, and the PCs get caught up in one. See, on the spur of the moment, possible concept, considering that could be an entire game session, could be a number of sessions, could be an entire campaign. Just roll with it, go with it. Look at the world around you and think, how can I figure out what to do, right? So, I just over here on the wall is a poster signboard thing my wife put up on the RV. She recently decorated, and it's definitely got a heavily America pride uh, flag going theme. God bless her. But this particular poster shows a horked off looking eagle. It says "Ride Free." Yeah. So maybe there's an eagle king who is going to free the avians of his world and use them to dominate human society, and your characters have to ride to the rescue of the community that he's trying to start with. Okay, so maybe it sounds lame, maybe it sounds crazy, but hey, you never know. It might turn out to be very good. You just never know how this is going to play out. Okie doke. And I'm starting to ramble and repeat myself. So at this point, I will say good do and thank